I was invited to a party for the elites, and now I'm scarred for life. I've thought about sharing this too many times. Usually I talk myself out of it, convince myself it sounds too ridiculous, too dreamlike. But I wasn't dreaming, and I wasn't drunk. I was just there, and it really happened. 3 years ago, I was working as an art consultant out of Seattle. My job took me in and out of galleries, private collections, and auction previews. A lot of clients preferred anonymity, and I didn't ask questions. That was part of the job, keeping your mouth shut, showing the right pieces to the right people, and knowing how to exit quietly. Some of these people were powerful, the kind who moved around the world in ways that don't show up on any radar. You get used to seeing things that feel off, but you don't ask questions. You learn that curiosity doesn't pay in that world. There was one man, I'll call him Simon, because it doesn't matter what his name really was. He'd bought a late 19th century oil piece through me, completely off market. Quiet deal, big money. He liked my professionalism. A few weeks later, he invited me to a private dinner with friends, somewhere outside Puget Sound. Said it would be an experience. I said yes. Not because I was naive, but because, well, if you spend long enough around that kind of wealth, you start saying yes to things without thinking too hard. We met at a private marina just before dusk. Several others were already there. No one I recognized, but they all had that look. Tailored jackets, old money smiles, diamond bracelets that didn't flash unless they wanted them to. We boarded what I can only call a luxury vessel, sleek, black, and longer than I'd expected. Someone handed me a drink before I even sat down. As we pulled away from the coast, I realized no one had told me exactly where we were going. Just dinner on an island. The water grew darker quickly, and the further we sailed, the quieter everyone became. At some point, the champagne stopped. Lights on the ship dimmed, and people started drifting toward the upper deck. There was an anticipation in the air, like waiting for a show to begin. Then the floodlights clicked on. They were aimed not ahead, but down, into the sea. The boat slowed, engines cutting out, and everything went eerily still except for the gentle lapping of water and the creak of the hull. That's when I heard the clapping. People were applauding, softly at first, then louder as something began to rise from the water in a cage, submerged lights illuminating the glass. I couldn't see it clearly at first, just a thrashing shape, pale limbs slapping the inside, something shrieking. Not a human scream, not quite animal either. Simon stood beside me and said, "Caught it just last night." I asked him what it was. He smiled and said, "You'll see. Don't spoil the appetite." The thing inside the cage slammed itself against the glass again. I caught a glimpse of what looked like a hand, or something like it. Webbed fingers, sharp claws, the top of a head, long black hair floating like seaweed. I stepped back. Simon kept sipping his drink. Someone near the front said, "They got a live one tonight."